Good job. All right, good. So welcome. Good morning. And I know that many of you are feeling somewhat uncertain and anxious about what is happening in the world today and what that means in your life. So I don't know about you, but I was cleaning out my garage. And when I was cleaning out my garage, I found this. And this is hope. All right. And, connecting together to something larger than fear and anxiety we feel in this moment, we can perhaps draw on some inner strength, and that we're all in this together, and that in the face of unknown, we're all called to support one another, uplift one another, and encourage to love one another. So in the words of Maya Angelou, hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. So let's invite one to stay, okay? So then I'm grateful that you're joining me today. This will be an hour practice, all right? I have a clock there, so I'm just watching. The centering thought I'd like us to consider as we're moving throughout this practice is that hope is my source of strength, okay? So I'm gonna put this in the background here. I'm walking over to my mat, so if you can make your way to your mat, hopefully everyone can see me. Do I have a thumbs up? Can you see me okay? Perfect. All right, so we'll start in a comfortable seated position. We're gonna start seated. We'll do a little bit on hands and knees. Most of the practice will be on a standing practice, and I will offer modifications, okay? So there'll be different levels that you can take this practice through. We will use all four corners of the mat, so for all four sides of your mat. I will not be mirroring you, so when I say right, use your right hand or your right foot, all right, so that everyone can see moving that way, so that it makes it a little bit more moving through the flow, all right? So if you find your comfortable seat, we're just gonna take a moment to just get grounded. So notice whether you're sitting cross-legged or your legs extended, whatever way that feels supported for you in your body. Notice where your ankles and your shins are making contact with the earth. Notice where your sit bones are. Let's bring our shoulders forward and up, and then roll them down the back. As you draw your shoulder blades down the back, let your hands find a comfortable resting position on your thighs or your knees. So we're going to begin by what we call the deep core belly breath. If you could almost imagine that there's a flame at the base of your spine when you're sitting in your pelvis. When we inhale, we're going to breathe deep into the bowl of your belly like you're fanning that flame. So whenever you're ready at your own cadence, you're going to inhale, breathe deep into the bowl of your belly. Imagine that you're fanning that flame on the inhale. Now when you exhale, exhale slowly, and slowly start to draw your navel center to the back of your spine as you're exhaling all the air out through your lungs, all the way out. And then repeat. So at your own cadence, inhale, breathe deep, fill all the way to the bowl of your belly. Imagine that flame is flickering as you fill your lungs, the sides of your waist, all the way up to the top of your rib cage with your breath. And when you exhale, you're going to engage the core here. So you're really drawing that navel center back just a bit to get an engagement of your core as you exhale. One more time at your own pace. Breathe deep into the bowl of the belly. And then when you exhale, exhale all the way out and actively draw that navel center to the back of your spine. We're going to add now a little bit of movement into this. We're going to lengthen extension and flexion of your spine. So as you inhale, I want you to lean forward through your pelvis, but then lift your sternum, broaden your collarbone, open up through your heart, and maybe even gaze up on your inhale through extension. And then you're going to work your way into flexion by lowering your chin, rounding your shoulders, drawing your navel center to the back of your spine as you exhale out and rock back just a little bit. And then on the inhale, rock through the front of your pelvis, lift your sternum, broaden your collarbone, open up through your shoulders, and then exhale, round. And as you round, tuck your chin, rock back just a bit, and really squeeze hard through that navel center. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, rock through and forward, lift up, broaden your collarbone, open your shoulders. And then exhale and round, tuck your chin and really rock back. Now let's add the arms. So as you add the arms, when you rock forward, you're gonna reach your arms forward and then lift them up overhead, like you're reaching up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, make a fist, bring your elbows in and round and squeeze all the way out. And then repeat again. So rock forward, extend your arms forward, lift up, maybe look up to the sky. As you exhale, fists of fire, I call these, squeeze. We'll do one more round, rocking forward, reaching your arms all the way up. And then on your exhale, bring them in nice and tight. Now the next time when we come up and forward, we're gonna inhale, reach up. Now stay here. And then like you're climbing a rope, we're trying to stretch those side muscles, reach up and pull, reach up and pull, reach up and pull. So you're trying to get into those side muscles of your intercostals. Good. Reach, and then lower your right hand to your right side, fingertips pointing away from your body, left arm overhead, and stretch and reach. You're gonna grab, like you're reaching and grabbing a ring, pull it, come back with a bicep curl, nice and tight, and bring it back. We'll repeat 2 more times. Bring it across, stretch and reach, breathe into the sideways, and then bring it right back up again. Now the next time we come over and across, hold. Come across, keep your left hip grounded, palm of your right hand on your mat, stretch and reach, and now take a nice big deep breath. I really want you to breathe into the sides of your lungs. Fill your lungs all the way up, and then inhale, and then exhale out. One more breath, and then we'll come up. Inhale, and then when you exhale out, nice big, make a fist, come all the way up. Take a moment, lower your left hand down to the earth, sit up nice and tall, draw your shoulder blades back, lengthen up, and just take a moment and pause and notice the effects from your left side to your right. Notice if there's any shift or expansion. Breathe deep, and now we'll do the opposite side. So your left hand will stay down, bring your right arm up and over, and reach as if you're going to grab a ring or something, and then pull it back with a nice big bicep curl. And then reach again, stretch and reach, side bend, nice and long, and then bring it back. Next time we'll hang out there. So bring your arm all the way over, stretch, keep your shoulders in line with your hips. Stretch through the side waist with a big deep inhale. Go nice and long, take a big inhale. And then on your next exhale, you're gonna make a fist and come all the way back up. Lower the right hand to meet the left and just observe. Just notice how that feels. Take another big deep inhale and then exhale. Now we're just gonna add a gentle twist to this. You're gonna bring your left hand to your right knee and bring your right hand behind you. Now sit up nice and tall and look over to your right. So depending on your level of flexibility today, you can perhaps draw your chin towards the right shoulder, lower your chin just a bit. If that doesn't feel accessible to you today, then just do the best you can. Keep listening to your own body as you stretch. Take another breath, inhale deeply, and then exhale, come back slowly to center and unwind. Bringing your right hand now to your left knee, bring your left hand behind you, sit up nice and tall, and begin to look towards your left. Relax that right shoulder, bring your chin towards your left shoulder. You can dip your head just a bit to release the back of your neck. Take another breath, and then exhale back to center. All right, we're gonna come on hands and knees, so I'm gonna invite you to come onto all fours. So we're gonna do the typical tabletop pose. Bring your palms directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. Create length in your spine. Make sure that your wrists are parallel to the front edge of your mat and your middle fingers are parallel. You're pressing through the palms of your hands as you're pressing down. And we're going to step your right foot back, place the ball of your right foot on the mat, and we're just going to do a little back and forth if that's available. If that doesn't feel good, you're not going to do it. All right, just waking up the muscles in the back of the right hip, calf, and leg. And then slowly let the right leg float up. And we're going to move into a balance pose. So remember, in balance, you want to find that gazing point somewhere in front of your mat. We call that a drishti. Take your left arm out in front. So this is one option. If this is too much balance, you can lower your left hand back to the floor. You can keep it extended. We call this the hunting dog. If you choose, you can make this a little bit more core focused. We're going to do bringing your elbow in towards your knee. So bend your elbow, bring your knee towards your midline, bend, round the back as you exhale, and then inhale, extend. All right, we'll do that 2 more times. Elbow to knee, bring it in, and then extend. We'll do that 1 more time. Bring that elbow towards the knee, round the back, and then extend. Now lower your left hand back to the floor. We're going to bend the right knee, and you're going to bring your knee up towards your elbow 3 times. So knee towards your right elbow, and then extend long, opening up those hip flexors. Bring your right knee to your right elbow and go long. And we'll do 1 more. Right knee to right elbow and go long. And then lower your right leg to meet your left. Come back into that tabletop position. Extend your left leg behind you. Make sure the palms are underneath your shoulders. You're pressing down into your mat. Your neck is long. And if you wanted little pulses on the left side, go right ahead. Stretch out the metatarsals, your toes. Feel that stretch in your calf muscles. And then if you're ready, you can lift that left leg. Keep your hips squared to the floor. Stretch and point through the toes of your left foot. Bring your right arm out. And here we are in a balance pose. Again, you can stay here. You can always lower your right hand if that becomes too unsteady for you. Or you can add a little core work, elbow to knee. So make a fist, make elbow to knee, round the back as you squeeze in and up, and then inhale, go long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, go long. We'll do 1 more. Exhale, elbow to knee, and then inhale, go long. Lower your right hand under your right shoulder. Now bring your left knee out to the side like a fire hydrant and bring your left knee up and tap your left elbow. And then go long and straighten that leg. Again, we're trying to work those hip flexors, knee to elbow, and then go long. And then last time, elbow to knee, and then go long. Lower your right knee to meet your left. Press your hips back. We're going to take a child's pose. Take a moment here to stretch it out. Bring your forehead towards your mat. Stretch through your hips and shift your hips right and left. Just moving through, just trying to stretch out the low back area. Pause here. Remember, this pose is always accessible anytime throughout the practice. So if you need to take a moment, always know to come back into your child's pose. From child's pose, we're going to come back, come up, stand on your shins, and then we're going to come up to stand. So I invite you to come up to stand. All right, and we're going to move through a practice called flip it and reverse it. So this is going to be a standing flow practice. So I have to invite you to modify this in any way you need to modify for yourself, okay? That's really important. So I will offer various modifications throughout this practice. So there's different levels from everyone watching this and doing this practice. So I always want you to know to modify it in a way that's supportive for you in your own body. So we're going to start, again, as I mentioned to you, facing the short edge of the front of your mat. We will use all 4 sides of your mat, meaning the long sides of your mat, and we will also at some point be facing the back side of your mat. So all 4 corners will be moving around the mat together. All right, so this practice again is a standing flow. with very familiar postures, but I will offer also variations to them. So I invite you to take whatever variation feels appropriate for you. Now, as you stand in your mountain pose, I invite you, your feet should be about hip-width distance apart, which is usually about, if you take both fists, put them between your big toes, that gives you a pretty good sense of what hip-width distance apart is today. I want you to find the four corners of your feet, the big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, and outer heel. And just gently shift your weight back and forth, noticing your center of gravity today, noticing your balance, and then see if you can find stillness. Once you find stillness, I invite you to keep your knees slightly bent. We don't want to lock out your knees. Your hips are over your heels. Your shoulders are over your hips. So I always like to bring my shoulders forward, roll them up, roll them back and down, palms face forward. The back of my neck is long, my chin is parallel to the floor, and this is my mountain pose, all right? So we're gonna always come back to mountain. And then from mountain, we're gonna start the sequence in our chair pose. So we're gonna take the flow very slow the first time through, so we really work on the postures, and then the next time we move through it, we'll move just a little bit quicker, but it won't be a fast movement. It's going to be a very slow movement so that you really get a moment to stay in the postures. So find your chair pose by shifting your hips back as if you're sitting in a chair, and then making sure when you look down at your feet, your knees and toes are in the same direction. Make sure that your knees are not covering your toes. If so, shift your femurs, your thigh bones back. Lengthen your tailbone. You can bring your arms parallel to the floor in front of you. Some of you might prefer to bring your arms alongside your ears. Again, this is your personal practice, so I invite you to explore what feels right in your body. Draw those shoulder blades down the back. Think about lengthening your tailbone, and I like a strong core by just gently zipping up that zipper so you really draw that tone into your core muscles, and maintain that through the entire practice, that little zip up sensation, so that this becomes a very strong core practice for you. So find your chair pose. Remember your deep core belly breathing, right? Find your breath. Now on your next exhale, we're going to bring your hands down to the floor. We're going to step back into your downward dog. So bend your knees and step back into your first downward dog. In downward dog, your feet are about hip-width distance apart. Draw your shoulder blades down the back. You might want to pedal out your feet the first few times. And then invite you to find your stillness in this pose. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Keep your neck soft and relax your facial features. Your knees can be bent, or you might want to draw the hamstrings towards the back edge of your mat. It's up to you. Find your comfort in this posture. From our downward dog, we're going to move into plank. So draw your shoulders into plank. So you want a strong core, and always have an option to drop your knees, okay? So you have that choice. From your plank pose, we're going to come into what we call twisted plank. So be very mindful here. You're going to spin your heels to the right and your toes towards the left. We're moving into a side plank. So variation side plank, lower your right knee, and you can come up into side plank. Right hand down, left arm up. That's one variation. Another variation is to have both legs extended back. That's variation 2. Now variation 3, if you choose to, take your left foot behind your right and come into a really extended side bend. So again, this is your practice. We're going to make our way back through plank, and you're going to step your left foot up to the front of your mat. The heel of your right foot comes down to the floor, and we're going to come up into a warrior 1. Left foot forward, right foot back. Make sure your knees and toes are in the same alignment. Your right hip might be slightly open, but draw your shoulders towards the front edge of your mat as you lift your arms up into warrior 1. Find your stance in warrior 1. Remember that you are the warriors. We're all warriors right now, together, fighting this battle. And then remember, hope is my source of strength. Feel the strength of your own body now in this warrior pose. Your gaze is in front. Soften your cheeks and face. Find your breath. Deep core belly breathing. Now we're going to transition to where you're going to spin your toes to your right. And we're going to come into what we call the five-pointed pose. So yeah, your arms are out to the sides. I know right now your back is to me, right? I'm sorry. But you can listen to my direction. This is called the five-point pose. All right, you can stay here. This is option 1. Option 2 is what they call the horse stance. Bring your hands to your hips and bend your knees as if you're going into a little squat. Okay? Keep your shoulders over your hips. Remember that long tailbone and zip up your zipper, right? Feel your strong core. Another option here is if you want to play deeper is to lift your right heel, lower it, lift your left heel, lower it, maybe lift both heels or not. Lower your heels, straighten your legs, come back. Now we're going to face the back edge of your mat. You're going to point back here into a high lunge. So in a high lunge, your right foot is forward, left foot is back. The heel of your left foot is off the mat if you choose to. Okay? If that's too much, you can put the left heel down. That's perfectly fine. I know you want to have choices. So high lunge, we'll be doing a bit of high lunge. High lunge is pretty much sort of like a transition pose. From high lunge, we're going to transition into a warrior 3 variation. So you're going to bring your hands down by your sides. Now, if warrior 3 is not available for you today, just stay in a warrior 1 or a lunge pose, all right? If you're going to come into a warrior 3, hinge at your hips. You're going to step your weight into the right leg. Now you can choose to take the toe of the left foot off or not. So remember, you have a choice here. If you want to come into the balance, lift the toe of the left foot off the mat. Hands down by your sides. You can choose to bring your hands to your heart, or you can choose to extend your arms in front. I'm using the variation today of my arms down by my sides. Step your left foot back whenever you're ready. We're going to come back up through a high lunge, and from high lunge we move into warrior 2. So in warrior 2, spin the left foot parallel to the back edge of your mat. Your right foot is facing forward. Bend your right knee. Palms parallel to the floor, and now your gaze is over the middle finger of your right hand. Energetically, really, again, this is a strong pose, warrior 2. Feel the strength of your own body in this posture. Breath in and breath out. Strong breathing here. You want to feel as if your right foot and your left foot are trying to separate your mat in two. So really activate through your legs. Beautiful. We're going to transition through the, point your toes to the front of your mat now. So slowly go back to your front. Other way. Left foot forward, right foot back up. And you're going to come into high lunge. So remember your front. This is your front, okay, and then your back, okay? So here we are in high lunge. You're going to bring your hands to your heart. Now I'm going to offer this. You can stay here, okay? Remember, I'm giving you choices. If you choose to put a twist into this, you can bring your right elbow towards your left knee with a twist. So as you spin, the heel of the right foot is off the mat, left foot forward. Chair with a twist, or they call revolve side angle pose. You're going to step your right foot up to meet your front. So now you're in chair with the twist. Keep your right hip back so your knees are in the same plane. You got to work, your right leg wants to go forward. Shift that right hip back, square your hips. Knees are level. Come back up through chair. Extend your arms as you unwind. Come up to stand. Palms to touch. Hands to heart. Bring your hands down by your sides. Okay, that's the flow. All right, one side only. We have to do the other side now, okay? I will take you through that again. We're going to take it at a nice slow pace. Listen to your body. We always start in chair pose. That's one familiar thing. So find your chair. Start in chair. Again, arms can be parallel. Arms can be by your ears. Shift your hips back as if you're sitting deep in that chair. Remember, strong through your core. Find your breath. On your next exhale, we're going to step back into your downward dog. So bring your palms to your mat, bend your knees, and step back, downward dog. Remember, your feet are about hip-width distance apart. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Soften your mouth, soften your palate. Relax your cheeks. Maybe shake your head no. Maybe shake your head yes. From our downward dog, we move into plank. So you're going to roll through, shift your shoulders forward. And remember, you can always drop your knees. Plank is not the pose you want to choose to do in this moment. If you're in your plank pose will transition into side plank variation. Spin your heels to your left now, toes to your right. If you're going to do a side plank variation, lower your left knee and right arm up. If you choose to do both legs extended, do both legs extended. If you choose to do the extended variation, step the ball of your right foot behind your left and come into that long side angle variation. Come back through plank, everyone. Meet back in plank. And now bend your knees and step your right foot to the front of your mat. Lower the left foot to the floor for warrior one. Facing the front of your mat. Right foot forward, left foot back. Arms alongside your ears. Relax your shoulders. Now in warrior one, you may choose to press your palms together to touch, or you might want to do the temple mudra where index fingers are pointed up and draw your biceps alongside your ears and maybe start to lift up through your heart and gaze upward if that's what you choose to. Remember, this is your practice. I'm going to just invite you to take any variation of any pose that feels appropriate for you today. Remember your breath. Nice big deep inhale and nice big deep exhale. We're going to transition to the long side of your mat, toes pointing to the left. You're going to come back to that 5-pointed pose. This is one variation. You might choose to do the horse stance. Hands to your hips. Think about lengthening your tailbone, zipping up the zipper, shoulders over hips. You might want to bring hands to heart as an option. You might want to lift your heels as an option. Everyone, lower your heels, straighten your legs. You're going to point your toes to the back edge of your mat, left foot forward, come into high lunge, come off on the ball of the right foot and lift that heel. Again, you can choose to keep the heel down if that's your preference today. We're going to move from this high lunge into warrior three. Sweep your arms down by your sides. Hinge from your hips as you come through. Lift the back foot up or not. So you can always choose to keep the toe on the ground or play with your balance. When you step your right foot down, we're going to move into warrior two. So you position the back foot parallel to the front edge of your mat. Your left knee is bent, facing the back edge of your mat. Your palms are parallel. You can look over your right shoulder, make sure your arms are in alignment here. Big T position. Maybe go a little bit deeper in that posture. Gaze is over the middle finger of your left hand. Find that courage. Hope is my strength, is the source of my strength. We're going to transition now to the front of your mat. So spin your toes all the way to the right as you come up into high lunge. From high lunge, option here, hands to heart. Option here to add a twist, left elbow to right knee. Lunge with the twist. Find your stability here, find your balance. It's helpful to keep your gaze down towards the floor, maybe towards your right big toe. You might often choose to expand your arms, fingertips left hand down, right hand up. That's another variation. Again, I'm offering different variations. Bring your hands back towards your heart. You're going to step your left foot forward. So now you're in chair with a twist. Keep that left hip back so your knees are equal. You're going to unwind your twist, come up through chair. You're going to stand really tall, mountain with your arms extended, palms to touch. Look up towards your thumbs. When you exhale, bring your thumbs to your third eye. Pause here. In this moment of your knowledge and truth and light, bring your hands in front of your lips and your throat. Pause here, where you speak and communicate with kind words to yourself and to others. Bring your hands into your heart. As you bow inwardly, acknowledging this place of the divine truth, the source of your hope. Hope is the source of your strength. And then release your hands. So we now completed one full round, okay? We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to flip the whole thing and reverse it. So just when you think you got it, I'm going to flip it around on you. But take a break. Yes, good idea. If you have some water, take a water break. I'm going to wet my throat as well. And we'll meet back at the front of your mat. So we will do the same series, not fast, but a little bit, maybe just a little bit faster with movement. And as I offer you the different variations, just take whatever feels right. Starting in chair pose, come back to chair. Find your breath. Go just a little bit deeper. Take one more inhale. And then on your next exhale, transition into your downward dog. Plant your palms down, step back, downward dog. In your downward dog, making sure to draw those shoulder blades down the back, create length in your spine. Knees can be soft or knees can be straight. Transfer from downward dog into your plank pose. So draw your shoulders over your wrists. Keep those shoulder blades down the back, and remember, a very strong core. Your gaze is slightly forward. We're going to go into a twisted dog. Twist your heels to your right. Side plank variation of your choice. Right hand down, left arm up. If you choose to step the ball of your left foot behind and go into an extended side plank, we'll meet back up in plank. You're going to step your left foot to the front of your mat and come into warrior one. Left foot forward, right foot back. Warrior one. Draw those shoulder blades down the back. Open your heart. Open your throat. Find your breath. Transition into the 5-pointed star by turning your toes to your right, long edge of your mat, arms nice and wide. Come into your horse stance. You can bring your hands to your heart, hands to your hips, your choice. You remember you can lift your heels if you choose to. Keep your shoulders over your hips, strong through your core. Lower your heels now. We're going to turn towards the back of your mat, right foot forward, left foot back, high lunge. Transitioning from this pose into your version of Warrior 3. So I'm keeping my arms down by my side and transferring my weight onto my right foot. Hinge from your hips and then extend that left leg behind. You can keep that right knee slightly bent as you press through the ball of the left foot. Lower the left foot to the ground. Come into your Warrior 2. Right knee bent, right knee forward, arms parallel. Warrior 2, nice and strong. Fingers are alive like Spidey-Man fingers, nice and strong hands, strong arms, strong legs. From here, we transition back to the front of the mat. So spin your toes to the long edge and then to the front. Come into high lunge. So high lunge can be here, or you can add the twist. Palms to your heart, right elbow towards your left knee. Remember, it's helpful to keep your gaze down at the left big toe. Whether you choose to open your arms and expand, that's an option. Right hand down, left arm up. Or bring your hands back to your heart. Transfer the weight now into the left foot, and you're going to step your back foot up to meet your right into chair with a twist. You unwind chair with the twist into chair. Come all the way up to stand, palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Moving right into the other side now, back to chair. Go nice and deep. Lower your hands to the floor and step back into your downward dog. Find that nice deep core belly breathing. Transition now into your plank pose. Draw your shoulders over your wrists. Again, you can always drop your knees as an option. From plank pose, we move into twisted side plank. So twist your heels to the left. You can lower your left knee, right arm up, or take your variation of side plank. Make this your practice, what you need today in this moment. We'll meet back in plank. You're going to step your right foot forward, heel of your left foot down, Warrior 1, facing the front of your mat. Find the cadence of your breath. Deep core belly breathing. From Warrior 1, we'll move to the long edge of your mat into the 5-pointed star or your horse stance variation. Make sure your knees and toes always stay in the same direction. Those outer thighs are pressing back. We'll transition to the back edge of your mat. Sweep into high lunge. Left foot forward, right foot back. Transition into your Warrior 3 pose, variation. Arms down by your side, hinge from your hips. Transfer the weight into your left leg for balance, and you choose whether or not you want to Make this a balanced pose. We'll step the right foot back and come back up and through your warrior two. Your right foot is parallel to the front edge of your mat. Your left toes are facing the back short edge of your mat. Strong arms. See if you can go a little bit deeper in that warrior two pose. We'll transition towards the front of the mat. Point your toes towards your right. Spin your toes all the way around. High lunge. High lunge with a twist. Take your variation of a twist. Left elbow to right knee. Look down at the toes of your right foot. Transition now, back foot to meet the front. Chair with twist. Unwind your twist, come up through chair. Root down through your feet and stand tall. Gaze up at your hands and bring your hands down to your heart. Find your breath. Allow your arms to come down by your sides. And just feel the effects of the practice. Okay, so flip it and reverse it. Here we go. I'll take it nice and slow. We're going to do the same pose as you just did, only I'm going to reverse the order. Ha! Let's see how I screw this up. But let's take our time and we'll do it pose by pose, okay? So even if I mess up, that's okay. We'll just keep on moving, all right? So we start a chair. Face the front edge of your mat. Find your chair pose. Shift your hips back. Remember your core nice and strong. Soften your facial features now. We're going to move into a revolved chair pose. Bring your left elbow to your right knee. Keep those hips back. Find your breath. Your focus is your right foot. Look down at that right foot. We're going to transfer the weight into the right leg. You're going to lift the heel of your left foot up. Step back into a lunge with that left foot. It's a tough transition. Be mindful. Take your time. So now you're in a lunge with a twist. From lunge with a twist, we're going to come up into high lunge. So straighten out and come forward. Right foot forward, left foot back. Now when we transition, you're going to move towards the left. And then you're going to spin into warrior two. Left foot back, left knee bent, warrior two. Remember, strong arms. Gaze is over the middle finger of your left hand. Stay with your breath. Strong core belly breathing. Stay engaged through the core the whole time. We're going to transition into high lunge. So sweep your right arm forward towards the back edge of your mat. Lift your arms up, high lunge. Relax your shoulders. As we move into warrior three, your variation, bring your arms down by your sides. Transfer the weight into the four corners of your left foot. Hinge from your hips. As you shift your weight forward, you can keep your left knee bent for stability, and then see if you want to lift that back leg up off the mat. Step back with the right foot. Come up through high lunge. From high lunge, we move through our horse stance pose or five-pointed star, your choice, here or here. Find the steadiness of the posture. Balance balance, effort, and ease. We'll transition to high lunge. Point your toes to the front edge of your mat. Warrior one. Right foot forward, left foot back. The next transition could be a little bit tricky. Take your time. You're going to bring your hands down to the mat, and you're going to transition to your variation of a side plank. So you can point your toes to the right, take a variation here, or step your right leg back to meet your left. You can step the toes of your right foot behind you if you choose to. Take your variation of side plank. Take another big inhale here. We'll meet back in plank. Lower your right hand down. Come back into your plank pose. Shoulder blades down the back, strong through the core. Soften your knees and then shift your hips back into your downward dog. Find your breath in your downward dog. Create length in your spine. Soften through your heart center. Knees can be bent or knees can be straight. Look forward now, bend your knees and walk, or if you choose to, you can hop to the front edge of your mat and come up through chair. Come all the way up, palms to touch, hands to heart. We're going to do the other side now, so come back to chair. Reversing the order now. You're going to bring your hands to your heart and bring your right elbow to your left knee in chair with a twist. Revolve chair pose. Keep your right hip back. Make sure your knees are pretty stable, in line with one another. Your feet are in line with one another. Direct your gaze to your left foot now. Transfer your weight into the left leg. You want to lift the heel of your right foot as if it's as light as a feather and step your right foot back. High lunge with a twist. Lunge with a twist. Keep your spine long. The back of your neck is long. Feel that energy going through the crown of your head all the way out through the base of your spine. We'll move into high lunge now. Unwind. Come up into your high lunge pose. When we transition, you're going to transition to the back of your mat. So spin your heels, toes to the right, and then the right warrior two. Right foot faces the back edge of your mat, right knee's bent, warrior two. Nice. Feel the strength here of the pose. Warrior two. Extend through your hands. From warrior two, we're going to move into a lunge pose. So sweep your left arm up along to meet your right, facing the back edge of your mat. Right foot forward, left foot back. Soften your shoulder blades down your back. Open up through your front of your body, high. Heart open, throat open. Soften your mouth. Strong through your legs. We'll transition into your warrior three variation. Bring your arms alongside. Shift your weight onto the right leg. Remember, you can keep this right knee bent. Square those hips and then lift the back leg up into your variation of warrior three. Step the left foot back. Come up through high lunge. From high lunge, you're going to meet up into your horse stance pose facing the long edge of your mat. So left toes, hands to hip. Good. Remember, you can lift your heels if you choose to. You can lower your heels. We'll transition now back to the front of the mat, high lunge. Actually, warrior one. So let the heel of the right foot come to the floor, warrior one. We're almost there. From here, the transition, lower your hands to either side of your left foot rather. We're going to take your variation of side plank now. So take whatever, right hand down, left arm up, side plank. Side plank to plank now. Everyone meets in plank or variation. You can drop your knees if you choose to, or full plank. Make your way back to your downward dog. Find your breath. Soften your knees, look forward, and step to the front of your mat. Find your way to your chair pose. Stand tall, palms to touch. Gaze up at your thumbs. Draw the thumbs through your third eye, your throat, your heart. Bow your head down, acknowledging the place of your divine truth. Feel the effects of your practice. Let your hands come down to your sides. We're going to make our way down to the mat. You did it. Yay. All right, we're going to finish with a relax, just a stretch on our back. So I invite you to come onto your mat. We're going to take constructive rest pose. So your toes are facing the front edge of your mat. Your knees are bent. And you're going to come onto your spine. I will invite you, I'll take you through relaxation. And when I cue you to come out of relaxation, if you choose to stay relaxed, stay there. You do not have to get up. Remember, you're home now. You can take Shavasana for as long as you want. We're going to end the class pretty much with the hour, or just over an hour. But if you want to hang out in your Shavasana, don't feel you have to come up and say goodbye, all right? I want you to stay and hang out if that's what you need. But I'll just guide you through relaxation and then invite you to stay. So we're going to come down into your back. Knees bent, feet flat. Just take a moment to draw your shoulder blades down your back. Bring your palms alongside your body, palms down. Walk your heels gently towards your buttocks. You're going to bring your right knee into your chest. Give it a nice hug. Let your left leg slide out. We'll point and flex the feet for 3 times. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Then circle your feet for 1, 2, and 3, and then go the other way. Circle, 1, 2, and 3. If you'd like to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling and get a hamstring stretch, go right ahead. You want to massage the back of your muscles, go right ahead. If you want to take a nicer, deeper hamstring stretch, extend your arms up towards your calf or your ankle. Inhale, and then exhale, bring your forehead closer towards your shin. Take a nice big stretch, go right ahead. Gently lower your head to the mat, bend your right knee, hug your left knee into your chest now. Give yourself a nice big hug, rock from side to side. And then extend the right leg as you hold the left knee in. We're going to point and flex for 3, 2, and 1, and then circle. 1, 2, and 3, and circle the other way. 1, 2, and 3. Good. If you'd like to extend your left leg up towards the ceiling, go right ahead. Clasp the back of your thigh, your calf, your ankle. Stretch up. Nice big hamstring stretch here. Muscles are nice and long. Take a big inhale. On your exhale, bring your forehead towards your shin. Lower your head down. Extend your left leg out to meet your right. We'll finish with a long body stretch now. Take a nice long stretch through your elbows, wrists, shoulders, torso, legs, knees, and feet. Take a great big inhale through the nose. Sip in a little bit more air, even a little bit more. Hold the breath, retain it just for a moment. And when you're ready to exhale it all out with a big relaxation sigh, let go. And just feel the effects of your practice. As you allow your arms to rest by your sides, I'll invite you to soften your facial features, relax your brow, allow your gaze to go inward. Relax your cheeks. Notice where your upper lip meets your lower lip, and soften the tongue from the palate of your mouth. Swallow gently to soften the muscles of your throat, and relax your back, upper back, neck, and shoulders. Allow your body to yield into the earth. Feel a little bit heavier. Relax your arms, your elbows, your wrists, and your hands. Let your fingers soften. The palm of your hand is soft. The inside of your wrists relaxed. The inside of your elbow joints and your armpits are softening, releasing, yielding. Bring your awareness now into your torso, your rib cage, as you begin to yield even more, softening through the navel center, softening in your hips and pelvis. Let your thighs relax, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, and your feet. The soles of your feet, the back of your legs, that space behind your knees, your hamstrings and buttocks muscles, your lower back, your mid back, and your upper back yielding into gravity. All the way up through the crown of your head. Your entire body is resting. Resting with the breath. As you follow the flow of your breath, perhaps notice the rise of the belly on the inhale and the softening of the belly on the exhale without any effort, without any having to control anything. Just notice the rise and the fall of the breath. As you stay with the breath for another moment, another minute or so, perhaps focusing on a mantra that hope is my source of strength as you breathe. So I'll invite you to stay here if you choose to. There's no need to have to unsettle yourself if you're resting. If you choose to move, you can begin to move your fingers and your toes. If you choose to extend your arms overhead, take a nice long body stretch as if it's the very first stretch of the day, inhaling. And as you exhale, you can bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, or hug your knees into your chest. You can rock from side to side. You can roll onto your side. And just take a moment now to pause as we come to the conclusion of our practice today. If you choose to, just take a moment to bring your palms together in front of your heart, just bowing down and knowing that at any time that you choose to go to that quiet place, that sanctuary within, it is always there waiting for you to arrive. And now I'll just invite you to see if you can just find perhaps one blessing in your life today that you can be grateful for, and just acknowledge that in this place of your divine truth and light, your heart center. I'm thankful to you all for allowing me the honor to be here today to hold the space and to share these practices with you. I wish you and your loved ones peace, health, hope. We're all in this together. We'll come out of this stronger and better. So I wish you peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you all.